Hey everyone, it's Forest After Dark again. I am the only one up yet again tonight with my wife and son down to bed for the night and just spending some time brainstorming and working on my current book, the second book in my cyberpunk trilogy. First book having been The Glass God, which I can actually just present here for you because I have like 25 copies lying around in different places in the house. I thought it'd be fun to kind of share some of the inspirations that kind of help me write, not only the book that I'm working on right now, but some of the things that inspired the Glass God for me. A couple of things that inspired the Glass God, but I don't actually own, which is funny because I am a huge movie collector, and in some cases, I do collect some TV shows. I actually have every season of Lost. My mom is borrowing the rest. um, so, one of the biggest inspirations for The Glass God was Breaking Bad, because it's about a guy who was pretty bad from the beginning and, becomes worse and worse over time as the show progresses. And that was the same for the main character in The Glass God, someone who starts off bad, but instead of turning good by the end, he gets worse and worse throughout the story. It, destroys his relationships, destroys his reputation, just kind of destroys everything that could have or would have been good in his life. So that was a pretty big inspiration. Other inspirations, which I don't own, was Blade Runner. Obviously, like Blade Runner is a pretty obvious choice just due to the aesthetic, the inspirations behind creating cyberpunk worlds. Blade Runner was a huge start for that stuff. And then another inspiration of mine was Scarface, which I have seen. And again, not a movie I own. And the funny thing is, I wasn't even a huge fan of that movie. I thought it was okay. But the premise of it was something that I really enjoyed and factored into The Glass God a lot. Now, if you'll follow me upstairs and let me cut scenes, I can show you a few inspirations that I have for the second book that I'm writing right now. And hi, this is cutting to the next scene where we are now upstairs next to our TV in the living room. And to give away another inspiration of mine for the second book, or inspiration for the book that I'm working on right now, The Matrix. Now, it's a cyberpunk book, so obviously The Matrix is going to be one of the biggest inspirations to, I think, any cyberpunk book. The Matrix, I love the aesthetic of it. I love the hero's journey through it. I love the fact that it takes on a very traditional hero's journey, whereas one of the things I'm willing to give away about my book, without giving away too much, of course, is the fact that the book is really about what exactly would the hero's journey look like today? In a world where people just feel like it's so dark and it's so hopeless and there's no heroism, there's, no one, it feels like no one is coming to save us. There's no, good guys anymore. It's just bad guys and victims. Um, I want this story to explore what does it mean to be a hero today, even though this is set in a cyberpunk world, technically still in the future. Um, Another inspiration, and I forgot to, show it downstairs. Well, actually, I showed it in the first take, and then in the second take, just completely forgot it. Um, so it must not have been that good, right? No. Another inspiration of mine for the second book of the Glass trilogy is Star Wars Andor. I own season one, both on Blu-ray and 4K, because my wife loves me and got me the 4K as well after I got a PS5 so I can play 4K movies. Um, Star Wars Andor is currently one of my absolute favorite shows of all time. The way that it explores the themes of tyranny and revolutions and the kinds of things that people within those revolutions are willing to do in order to, gosh, my legs are uncomfortable. The things that people within those revolutions are willing to do to destroy the enemy, even if it means being as bad as them. And what does that do to the person's soul and everything? Just really incredible stuff. And so the second book of the Glass trilogy, very much inspired by that. So yeah, Andor, The Matrix for, the second book. Then you have like Blade Runner and Scarface, or the aesthetic of Blade Runner, the themes and the character study of Scarface in the first book, as well as Breaking Bad. And the funny thing is about the things that inspire us, like we don't we sometimes we come up with an idea and we think, oh my god, we're the only ones that came up with this. We're not. So much of what we write and so much about the stories that we tell, they come from somewhere. They were inspired by something. We all, as storytellers, end up inspiring each other one way or another. Sometimes even bad stuff can inspire other people to write good stuff. It's really, really interesting. And what's fun is that, like, sometimes it can be easy to figure out what the inspirations are that it motivated you to, to tell a story, to write one. And sometimes they're actually harder, and you don't realize what inspired you until later. Like sometimes even as you're writing. I think it's all really cool and fascinating stuff. So yeah, that's it from me tonight. I'm going to continue doing this every night. I kind of consider it a little bit of a discipline exercise to stay consistent doing something every day. And this is fun for me to do because it allows me to talk about the things that I'm passionate about, to let people follow me on this journey through writing this book. I will be coming up with a title soon. I'm going to give a little bit more away about what people can expect from this book without giving too much away, of course. And the goal is to get the book published by the end of the year. So yeah, other than that, I will always have the link to my first book, The Glass God, in the description below to Amazon. And I will see you guys tomorrow night. Like and subscribe.